Need some new glasses. And we're hot. We are hot. So, in a FIDEC, I am in the house. A lot of stuff happened at the trade deadline. I have not been on since then. It was Thursday that happened. And I have not been on since then. Right? And a lot has happened since then. A lot. We got seedings. We got a whole bunch of good stuff, man. That's going on. Whole bunch of good stuff going on. Who is in the house tonight? Mag, what up? Ian, what's up, brother? What's up, Darren? How you doing, brother? Brent, how you doing tonight? D. White, what up, brother? Drew in the house. Rory, my man Mark. JB, what up? King Minus, what up? I got two Kings in here. I got King Lewis and King 90. I know the difference between the two. I do know the difference between the two. Rory, what up? Wants to get into it already. He don't even want to waste no time. He just want to get right to it. What up, Tyler? So, it's a difference between being a better player and playing better. And I'm gonna start the conversation. Hoops is the conversation tonight, but I will tell you this. Philadelphia Eagles found out who their quarterback is last night. That absolutely happened. No doubt about that. If they had any questions about who their quarterback is, those questions got answered last night. We got our quarterback. We good. No doubt about that. And now it's just a matter of continuing to build, continuing to get better. Not just continuing to build and continuing to get better. Not just continuing to build and continuing to get better. Winning it. Because it's obvious that they're right there. That's obvious. That they are right there. So I think that the question last night was answered. Does Philadelphia have a quarterback? Yeah, they do. No doubt about that, they do. Jalen Hurts had command of that offense. Not only did he have command of that offense, he looked poised. He looked like a pro. He was making the necessary throws. He was hitting guys when they needed to be hit, running the football. He did have that fumble where he just dropped the ball, and but he made up for it. He ultimately made up for it. So they were in the game. They stayed in that game. I do not blame the officials. I don't have any blame on the officials. I hear a lot of people talking about how that game was taken away from them by the officials. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if, in the words of Lupe Fiasco, if you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear because the camera's here, right? So that Philadelphia defense, they say we are it. They came into that game last night with the better defense. Not only did they come into the game with the better defense, one of the best offenses in the game. So if I tell my defense as a quarterback, I'm going to give you 35 points. My defense is going to tell me, especially in the bowl game, we'll make 35 points stick. You give me 35 points, we'll make that stick. 24 points. You give me a double-digit lead. You give me a double-digit lead, we'll make that stick. So for that defense to come up lame the way that they did, that was unacceptable. It just was. Kansas City scored on every possession in the second half, just straight lit them up. They scored every time they got the ball in the second half. That game plan was that game plan was a great game plan from Andy Reid. Was a great game plan. Getting Patrick Mahomes rolling out, not just rolling out to the right, rolling out to the left, a lot of shifts. And Pachenko, I mean, if we're going to call it what it is, the game plan looked like it was pretty simple. We're going to shut his ball down your throat and you ain't going to do nothing about it. Because he ran all over them last night. So I don't think that it's a question whether or not Philadelphia has their quarterback. I think that goes without saying. I also think they got both of their wideouts. Because the more I watch Devontae Smith, the more he reminds me of Marvin Harrison. That's what he looked like to me. He looks like a thinner version of Marvin Harrison. Every day, all day. So with that being said, you got your wideouts, you got your quarterback, your defense, which is old, to be quite honest with you. I think they stood on their head the majority of the season, and I think that they ran out of gas in the bowl game. And because they ran out of gas, it was obvious that they ran out of gas against the wrong team. No doubt. They ran out of gas against the wrong team. So there's no reason for me not to believe that Kansas City won't be back. I mean, they got the best quarterback in the game. They got the best tight end in the game. They got one of the best offensive coordinators in the game. They got a solid enough defense. So there's no reason for me to think that they won't be back. The NFC East, on the other hand, I think it's a lot tougher. Next season, I think there's going to be some upgrades. I don't think the NFC is as tough, but I think the NFC East as a division is going to be tougher. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight was, last time I got to talk to you guys, the trade deadline hadn't happened. So we had some trades. We had some teams make some big moves, right? In the process of teams making big moves, we had some winners and we had some losers. I hear a lot of people talking about now all of a sudden the Phoenix Suns are the favorites. I'm not buying that. However, I will tell you, I absolutely love what Brooklyn did. I love it. I said to you guys a week ago, today is Monday. I said to you guys a week ago yesterday, when Kyrie Irving got moved, there was no reason to keep KD on the roster. None. What are we holding on to him for? This unit was built entirely around KD and Kyrie Irving. And when I say it was built entirely around them, I mean from the way that they got them dudes. From moving off of D'Angelo Russell, signing trade to get KD, bringing in Kyrie Irving, moving off of both Jared Allen and Karis LeVert, which I think to this day was a mistake, and it still is a mistake, to get James Harden, who I don't think James Harden even wanted to be in Brooklyn. I think he got talked into coming to Brooklyn. To coming off of James Harden and trading for Ben Simmons and getting back some of those picks that you gave up. This unit was built entirely around Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. So because of that, right? Because of that, once you got rid of one, and the reason why once you got rid of one, you had to get rid of the other one. And the reason why is because this isn't a young core. What I mean when I say core, KD and Irv, this isn't like Jordan and Pippen. You know, Jay gets Scottie Pippen in 1988, 1987. Jay, 24 years old. Shaq gets Kobe Bryant in 1996. Shaq's 24 years old. KD will be 35 in September. Kyrie Irving is in his 30s. So you already moved off the younger one. So with moving off the younger one, why are we holding on to the older one? Now, don't get me wrong. KD still got the goods. So let's make no mistake. Let's not make a mistake and say that KD is washed, because he's not. He still got the goods, right? KD still got the goods. The question is, $1 million question is how much longer is he going to be here? Because like I said, he'll be 35 in September. How many more years you think KD got? I think 2. I think he's got 2 more years at this level. So because I think he's only got 2 more years at this level, there's no reason to hold on to him during this process. Because if you look at this group that they have, as good as they are, all right, let's before Mikal Bridges and Cam show up, before those 2 dudes show up, the 5 is Spencer Dinwiddie, Finney Smith, KD, Royce O'Neal, Claxton, with the other rotation guys. So is that team good enough to win the Eastern Conference Championship? I don't think so. I do not think so. So because this team isn't good enough to win it, what are we doing here? KD and Kyrie Irving were brought here to win it. It's not a matter of selling tickets. Brooklyn is 15th in the league in attendance. So they're average at best. So with them only being average at best, that's not the issue. What are we holding on to here? We got to start over. We get all our draft picks back. Not only do we get all our draft picks back, you got good young players on this crew. Are you willing to build this unit around Ben Simmons? Well, I'll tell you, I don't think Ben Simmons wants to play basketball anymore. So I'm not sure that I want to build this unit around him, because I don't think he wants to play basketball anymore. I don't. But Cam Thomas, I think I have a real good piece with him. I got a real good piece with him. And with all of those draft picks we have, I'm down to build a unit with him involved in it. No doubt about that. The 3-way trade between the Lakers, Utah, and Minnesota, I like it for all 3 teams, to be quite honest with you. I saw what the Lakers look like. I know it's only 1 game, but I think Beasley gives them a guy who can stretch the defense. Vanderbilt gives them a D and 3 wing who I think can help them out tremendously. D'Angelo Russell, I'm interested to see how he plays off the basketball, because that was his job in Minnesota, to be on the ball. So I'm interested to see how I'm wondering if he's better suited off the basketball than he is on. I'm wondering if he is or not. I like Mike Conley in Minnesota. I'd much rather him in New Orleans because I thought he fit better there. But I love him in Minnesota. With Rudy, with Cat, whenever Cat gets back, with that group, Anthony Edwards, the problem Minnesota was having, and I still stand on this, is they weren't getting any easy buckets. Everything, particularly in transition, they didn't get anything easy. And that's largely due to their primary ball handler, D'Angelo Russell. He didn't get Anthony Edwards easy layups. He didn't get Rudy rim running like he did. He didn't get him enough easy buckets. Vanderbilt wasn't getting easy buckets when he was there. So now that Mike Conley's there, he's going to speed the game up a little bit more, right? And because he's going to speed the game up a little bit more, I think he's going to get them less difficult buckets, and I think that's going to open up the offense for them. So I think that this trade works out for all three teams. Utah has still not given Russ a definitive answer on what his role is going to be exactly. I don't think he plays a minute for the Jazz. I think they eat that deal, and I think he ends up with the Clippers. I think he ultimately ends up with the Clippers. And I think that would be good for the Clippers. I think he's better than John Wall. Russ got a bad rap. He did what Darvin Ham asked him to do, which was take a lesser role. Not only take a lesser role, he took that lesser role and thrived in it. Played starter minutes, was able to do what no other bench guard, what no other rotation guard was doing. That's why he was in the conversation for Sixth Man of the Year. Because Russ is one of them guys who still thinks that he's a starter. And he may very well be still a starter. I'm not sure that he's not. But with that being said, for him to stand up like he did and take a lesser role like he did and thrive and be productive like he was, says a lot about Russ as a professional. Says a lot about him as a professional. And I think that he could help another unit. No doubt about that. I think he could help another unit. So I think this trade works out for all three teams, no doubt. The trade that I'm digging the most is I'm digging Luke Kennard to the Memphis Grizzlies. I am. I'm really feeling Luke Kennard to the Memphis Grizzlies. And the reason why I'm feeling Luke Kennard to the Memphis Grizzlies is because the Memphis Grizzlies are one of the worst jump shooting teams. Forget the long ball for a second. Let's just take the long ball off the table for a second. They're one of the worst jump shooting teams in the game. They're one of the worst jump shooting teams in the game. And to get a guy like Luke Kennard who can stretch the defense and who can expand their offense, I think that helps them a lot. The more I watch Jaren Jackson Jr., the more frustrated I get with him because he looks like he can be an all-world defender. But the fouls that he creates, I think that really screws him up. And that's a basketball IQ thing. That's a focus thing. I don't think it's not because he's not smart enough. I think it's a focus thing. And we're getting Luke Kennard, right? We're getting Luke Kennard. I think that's going to expand their offense, which is going to help him out. Because I think it's going to enable him to think more about how much more he means to the unit, how much more they need him on the floor, right? So those are the trades that I thought about off the top of my head that I thought about that were really, really important. I dug Josh Hart to the Knicks. I think he's a rotation guard that's really going to help them. He's basically a smaller version of what Obi Toppin is. Obi Toppin should be. As big as Obi Toppin is, he should be what Jayson Hart is. A guy who can get to the basket with the best of them, knock down the long ball, and clean glass. That's what Obi Toppin should be. But that's what Hart is. That's why I think he's gonna cut into his minutes. He's definitely going to cut into Obi Toppin's minutes. No doubt about that. I think Josh Hart is going to cut into his minutes. No doubt. And he gives them another guard who can stretch the defense. Not only who can stretch the defense, who can get downhill and get to the basket, in addition to what he does on the defensive side of the basketball. Right? The Denver Nuggets losing Bones. I really wasn't feeling that. But then for them to pick up Reggie Jackson, I thought that was big. I thought that was huge for them. For them to instead pick up Reggie, because I'm not going to say that Reggie is better than Bones, but I think he might be better for what they're doing in Denver. I really think that he might be better for what they're doing in Denver. And because I think that he's going to be better suited, I don't mind Bones with the Clippers. I like Eric Gordon with the Clippers too. I do like Eric Gordon with the Clippers. And I think he's another long ball shooter that they need. Now they just need a distributor. They need a primary ball handler. And I think that them getting a guy like Russ, I think Russ can help them. I do feel like Russ can help them. Another trade that happened that I'm particularly fond of is Muscala. He looks really good with that Boston unit. He is what Gallo was before Gallo got hurt. That was going to be Gallo's role. A guy who comes off the bench, stretches the defense, knocks down the long ball, knocks down the mid-range, and gives them that punch. That's who Gallo was going to be before he tore his knee up. A 12 to 14 a game guy. But now that they got him, I think that helps them out tremendously. So, Jeffrey, I feel like Cleveland is a year away from really challenging in the Eastern Conference. I don't think you guys are there yet, but I do think you're going to make some noise. I think that they're a semifinals team. I don't think that they're better than Philadelphia. I don't think they're better than Milwaukee, and I don't think they're better than Boston. And you're going to have to see one of those three teams in the East semifinals. And in a 7-game series, I don't think you can beat any of them. However, I do think that those series are dogfights, and I love the fact that you guys aren't far away. I love that. I love the fact that you guys are close. What up, Elder? How you doing, brother? What's going on with you? I love the fact that you guys are making the right moves, because places like Cleveland, Memphis, New Orleans, got to get it right in the draft. And any trades that you make, these trades got to work. Because you don't have the market where you can miss on a guy at the number 3 pick. You don't have that kind of market. You have to get that right. So I'm interested. I'm really excited about the playoffs. The playoffs will be here in another month. Another 2.5 months. And I'm interested to see how that goes. But this is what it is. This is absolutely what it is. So thanks, Alden. I appreciate you, brother. No doubt. I don't have any comment on the Houston Rockets playing losing ball. The Houston Rockets are a rebuilding franchise, and this is what they're doing. They're in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. That's what's going on in Houston. They're in the and the ironic thing is they actually got some really good young players. Right? I dig Jalen Green. I don't know if Jalen Green is a franchise player. I dig Jabari Smith, man. I think that he's going to turn into something serious. And Sagoon, give me a break, man. He looks like you can actually build your unit around him. I'm not sold on Kevin Porter as your lead guard, but I think Silas is a martyr. I think he's a guy that they just brought in to get you closer, and then once you get closer, then they're going to bring somebody else in. I do not think that he's the answer. I don't. Houston is a ways away. Houston is not close. They're not. Orlando is closer than them. I think Detroit, even though Detroit is at the bottom of the league, I actually think Detroit is closer than they are. I do. There are ways away. So hold on for a second, guys. I got a call on line 1. What up?
Yo. So, have you seen this? Have you seen this new look Nets team?
Have I seen the new look Nets team? Have I seen it? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the team?
I think that if they make the playoffs, they're a first round exit.
Did you see them against Philly?
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up. Keep going.
So I actually think that last time I was here, I said they can beat Philly, and I think I don't know if they'll win, but I still think it'll be a 6-game, 7-game series.
Can you last time you was here, can you talk about what happened between Claxton and Embiid, please?
Well, Embiid, last time Claxton won, but I'll say Embiid actually.
Don't say you'll say. What did you see?
No, Embiid bodied him, but
I just want to make sure we clear on that. So what do you think is going to happen in the playoffs if they have to see them in the playoffs?
I think you're going to get Embiid's production regardless. But I think everyone else on the Sixers, you can like maintain. I don't think Harden is going to like go off. I don't think Maxey or anyone else is going to go off. So
all right, my man. Just so you know, Philadelphia beats Brooklyn. If they were to see Brooklyn, they beat them in 5 games max. Serve them.
All right.
Absolutely. So, all right, brother. Good to talk to you.
Chill town.
What up?
Chill. All right. Is it fine? I add a quick football question in first.
What you got?
Mahomes, talk to me. Where he rank all time for you?
I think he's a top 5 quarterback.
Okay,
no doubt about that. I no question believe he's a top 5 quarterback.
So I got a question for you now. I just wanted to get that out the way. You was out on Brooklyn. You know, Brooklyn, I ain't gonna lie. I like the team that we got now. It's just it's gonna be hard for us to get a superstar, but are you out?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it is not. If you build it the right way, no, it is not. This is what you're doing right now. You thinking about right now. What I want you to think about, think Warriors 2010. Think Warriors 2009. Don't worry about in 10 years. Think about what you have in terms of draft capital, in terms of players. If you build this thing through the draft, like you should.
That's what I'm saying.
You build this thing through the draft. Stop worrying about grabbing a superstar right now. You already tried that with KD and Irv, and it went ridiculously wrong. You failed miserably at that.
Yeah.
So we don't want to go back there, correct? Right. So with that being said, how about we build this thing the right way?
You're right. But I was really coming here to ask you, are you out on Phoenix?
I got to see it first.
I feel it. That's what I'm thinking too. It's like, it's so much like, well, how you feel about the Lakers?
I'm straight.
What? Oh, gee, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like with Bron, they're gonna be a problem, but they got to start winning now.
The only reason why we talk about this team is because they got James. We don't talk about the Orlando Magic, who is 13th place in the Eastern Conference.
That's
and you
true.
Don't care about the Orlando Magic. You couldn't care less about them. Could you?
Because if they get there, we have not seen somebody beat Bron and AD fully healthy in a series. And
no, we have not.
We have not. I had to see it to believe it, you know?
And not only that, to add to your point, I think there are let's just say for the sake of argument, AD and Bron are healthy, right? All things equal, and AD and LeBron are healthy. I think they're a nightmare matchup for Denver.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that they're a nightmare. Exactly. I'm not sure that they can beat Denver, but I think they're a nightmare matchup for the Denver Nuggets.
Look,
nightmare.
I would never. Hey, I grew up through the Kobe and LeBron era. I would never doubt LeBron ever again in life. After that 2018 season, I seen it all. It don't matter who's on his team. I get he's older now, bro, but he has a running mate that is probably can we say Anthony Davis is the best teammate he ever had? Like at his powers right now, at his peak.
Was he better than Wade?
I think Wade was starting to slow down.
He might be. He might be better than Wade. I think he was better.
Starting to slow down.
I definitely believe he was better. I believe he was better than Irv too.
Yeah,
no question about it. I think he was better. I think he was better than Kevin Love too. Yeah. I
If
think
he
we can
can
make
give
that.
you this Braun in the playoffs with AD playing like how he is, I think they can beat Denver. But Denver is still. I'm just mad because we had to see it in the first round.
I just when I look at this Laker unit again, it's for me it's a broken record, and I can't say that I'm out on Brooklyn and then turn around and go, yo, I still need to see it with the Lakers. We've been doing this dance for over a year and a half now.
But see, it's different though. It's different though, OG, because we've seen the Lakers win with those two core pieces.
Yes, we have.
We didn't see the Nets go past the second round with those pieces.
And you know why? KD got hurt. Irv got hurt.
Exactly.
AD, and we didn't see those dudes fully healthy neither. That's why it was a failure. At least with AD, we know he's going to break down. We know that. So I'm not sure that I can bet on the fact that he's going to be around.
But maybe he got his breakdown of the year out the way already.
Now that might be true. And if that's true, oh yeah, okay, now we got something. Because if we're being honest, I mean, 2 years ago, if AD doesn't get hurt, I think they beat Phoenix. I do.
And then it changes everything. Then it changes everything.
I think they beat Phoenix. I'm not on the fence about that. I'm not thinking maybe. If AD doesn't get hurt, Phoenix is out.
Because I ain't gonna lie though, and can we keep it a stack? I like the Lakers matchup against Milwaukee as well.
No,
like fully healthy. Like you saw them go into Milwaukee and beat them.
My issue with Anthony Davis is Anthony Davis will play against Oklahoma City and he'll go 17-6, and then he'll see Giannis and he'll go 40-20. What are we doing?
That's what I'm saying. And
what are we doing?
I go back to the year that Braun should have won MVP. He got robbed by him. He got robbed. I don't care what nobody tells me. Braun's MVP last year, the bubble year, he got robbed.
If COVID doesn't, and I'm on record saying that if COVID doesn't shut the season down, I said this before the season started, before TikTok and YouTube, before I was ever on here. I was talking basketball with my buddies. I said, if James leads the league in assists this year, he's winning the league MVP and they winning the NBA championship.
That's what
I said.
It got robbed by him because the Lakers were rolling. The Lakers only had like 13 losses that season, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, what I do know for a fact is Anthony Davis. I get one thing from him, and then I get something else.
Yes,
and I'm not sure that I can fully rely on him. But if I can rely on him, the Lakers are going to be a huge problem, So
I can't wait.
We're going to find out.
Conference playoffs. The Western Conference flipped in like a day. I thought it was about to be a snooze fest, and now it's about to be in a whole day. I'm thinking. It was nice talking to you, OG.
All right, brother. You know where to find me at. What up?
What's good, OG?
What up?
What up? So, what's your thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks going on a 10-game winning streak?
What are my thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks going on a 10-game winning streak? Giannis is the best player on the planet. This Bobby Portis is out of the lineup, and they're still rolling. Grayson Allen and Connaughton have been playing a lot better during this streak. The fact that they've now added Jay Crowder. I had the Milwaukee Bucks pick to win the NBA championship before the season started. I didn't feel as confident about that today as I did 2 months ago, but I still stand on it. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are winning the NBA championship. I don't see anybody beating them 4 times in a week. I don't.
Yeah, and the fact that they're doing it without Chris Middleton too is kind of like crazy.
Well, see, here's the thing: they're not doing it without Chris Middleton. He's back in the lineup, and not only is he back in the lineup, he's back in the lineup, and he's looking sharp. I don't expect Chris Middleton to be 22 a game like he was 2 years ago, but he's good enough, and he's playing himself back into good form where he's knocking down open shots, and he's stretching the defense, and he's taking that pressure off Drew Holiday and making these dudes so much better. So much better. So I'm good. I'm straight.
So since you have the Bucks going into the finals, who you think gonna come out the West? Since all these trades happening, like Kyrie going to Dallas and Kevin Durant going to the Suns and all that.
I'm straight on Dallas. They don't defend. Not only am I straight on Dallas, I have to see it with Brooklyn. I think that the road to the NBA championship still goes through Golden State. Until somebody puts them out, they are the team to beat. And I think the team that has the best opportunity to do it is the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think they're the best. I think they have the best opportunity to do it right now. I don't see any other team in the Western Conference that has a better opportunity. I'm not sold on Memphis. I'm not. I think there are a lot of yapping. That's what they are more than anything to me. It's a lot of yapping and a lot of empty promises with me. Josh says, I said what I said, and nobody's going to waver my confidence. And that's fine that you can feel that way, my man. No question about that. You still have to produce. You still have to produce that. I mean, they haven't beaten Boston. This is the fourth. Yesterday, Boston beat them for the 14th time in 15 tries. I'm not sure how your math worked, my man, but Boston is in the East. Memphis is in the West. That means that they've beaten them only one time in 7 years. Once. Great. That's it. So I'm good on Memphis. I'm straight. So until I see it from Memphis, I'm straight. So yeah. All right, brother. You know where to find me at. What up?
Yo, OG, man. Yo, what was I hearing just a couple 20 minutes ago? You said the Sixers with the Nets. I don't think you watched that game, right?
No,
they beat them in 5 games.
Hold on. We're gonna jump into this. Now, chill, I can't lie, that shot Spencer Dinwiddie made at the end that half court. That's Philly saying, you know what, we won this game, so they just wanted to give up whatever. If that shot go in, they win in overtime. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
But chill, the fact, hold on, no, it's crazy. The fact that he was actually competing with them, don't you really think that's a pretty good thing, though?
No, I don't.
The fact they was competing with them?
No, I do not. They actually took their foot off of Brooklyn's neck. What are you looking at? Here's my question to you. In a week, right? Today is Monday. The playoffs start tomorrow. From Tuesday to next Monday, what gives you the logic that they could beat Philadelphia 4 times? What do they have to make you believe that they could beat them?
I think they could beat them.
Okay, you just said that. What give me the logic to sway me that they could beat them?
Well, first off, you know his production gonna drop, correct? Correct? Harden's not that good in the playoffs. And also Embiid's not that good in the playoffs.
Right.
And OG, and I think that Nets team is better than that Raptors team they faced last year. Fred VanVleet was banged up. They had no center. I think Claxton, Embiid gonna eat Claxton lunch, but I think they have an overall better team. And I think Miles Bridges, I ain't going front. This is the problem right here. Who is this scoring? Are they telling Cam Thomas score all the points? Now, if you're doing that, then that's where you set yourself up. But if they could just get like an overall from Miles, Mikal Bridges 20, Spencer Dinwiddie 20, Cam Thomas 15, Ben Simmons 10. Wow. I think that team sounds pretty good. That's a great defensive team.
5 games they beat
You don't think so?
No. 5. Everything that you just told me to counter that. So I like Tobias Harris's matchup with Mikal Bridges. I like that matchup. But who we're relying on as our lead scorer, we're relying on Cam Thomas, Spencer Dinwiddie. We need those dudes to give us. We're gonna get. Let's just say for the sake of argument, we're gonna get 40 out of them. How many points is it gonna take in order to beat Philly? 110? Because you're not holding them to 100 points. So where are the other 70 coming from? Because you're not getting anything from Ben Simmons. You're not. So let's dead that logic right now. You're not getting anything from him. Okay. Now, also Cam Johnson. Who's Cam Johnson? Who's going to cancel out his production? Well, Philly has a bunch of rotation guys who can cancel out his production. And you got guys who can slow him down, like PJ Tucker. You got guys to slow him down. So now, where are the other 80 points going to come from? Add all of that up to the fact that you have guys who we get to put in a blender. So how many times have you told me about Jordan Poole being food? So if I'm not mistaken, you told me Jordan Poole is food. Seth Curry is a steak dinner. Get Joe Harris off the floor.
Wait, hold on. I give it that's a good point because the fact that they're not primary scorers, you know what I mean? They're big effective scorers is food. That means okay. So you got that. But OG, real talk. I think the next season you're gonna see the craziest trade because OG, the Clippers, Sixers. If they don't win it this year, blow it up. Because think about it, the Nets blew it up. So Clippers, you said the Clippers, same thing with Clippers. So if those two teams, they don't win it, got blown up.
I don't know if I got to
be an everyday process.
I don't know if I gotta say the same thing, but I do understand where you at with like what are we doing here? Because we missing something. We are missing something.
Definitely got to blow it up. I think
we missing something.
I think the
I will say that. So, excuse me. All right, brother. I know where to find you at.
Yep.
What up?
Hey, what's up, man? So I have a question. Can we talk about D'Angelo Russell for a second, man, on the Lakers? Like Russell Westbrook is like going to Utah is just a waste of time.
Well, he's not going to play there. I don't think he's going to play 1 minute there. I think they're going to eat his deal. I don't think he plays 1 minute there. They're still having a difficult time trying to figure out what his role is going to be. They're still at odds about that. That's why I don't think he plays 1 minute there.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And on top of that, Utah is in contention to be in the play-in tournament. And the last thing that they need is somebody coming in there disrupting that with questions about what their role is. Not just their play, but what their role is. So they don't want that.
Yeah, and I mean, Russell Westbrook is toxic too. I think any organization, because like he still thinks he's that triple-double person that he used to be, you know, Hall of Fame, top 75 player, and I think he will never get out of his own head. And so going to D'Angelo, I mean, we've seen like what D'Angelo can do with the Timberwolves. I mean, he could do so much with the Lakers, and they could benefit so much from them. And I think it's a sleeper, you know, for that, because we're always talking about Kevin Durant with the Suns or whatever. But I think that D'Angelo Russell trade is really going to help them because they have that playmaking. They have an unselfish player. They have the scoring the D'Lo provides. I mean, you know, I think it's a good thing. You know, Mo Bamba and Jared Vanderbilt, all these people, I think really balance out their bench too. So I think the Lakers right now are kind of a sleeper. If they can get into the playoff or the play-in, then I think they could honestly go and make it, I think. But
we're gonna find out. I'm not sure about D'Angelo Russell, but the fact that he can now play off the basketball and be more of a scoring guard than he is a distributor, because that's what they needed him to be in Minnesota, and he really wasn't that. That's what Mike Conley is, and I think Mike Conley is going to help them out even more. But with that being said, right? With that being said, him playing off the basketball, I have to see him play off the basketball and see how productive he can be. Mo Bamba should have been. When I think about Mo Bamba, he could have been a better version or just as good a version of Mutombo. Just a guy who cleans glass and a guy who rim protects. But he wants to stand on the perimeter like Embiid and shoot jump shots instead of rim running. Well, you can't play like that anymore where you play on the block. I'm not asking you to play on the block. What I am asking you to do is rim protect and rebound at an elite level. And he should be able to do that. And he hasn't done that. So because of that, I'm not sure. I'm not in on I'm not in on Mo Bamba just yet. I need to see some more of it. Because the Lakers do need a rebounder. Yes, they do. No doubt about that.
Last question for you, man, and then I'm gonna head out. Any predictions for the finals?
I think Milwaukee is the team I think Golden State is the team to beat in the West. And until somebody puts them out, they still are the champs. I think Denver has the best opportunity to do it. I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win the NBA championship.
Yeah,
I don't see anybody beating them 4 times in a week. I just don't.
I was gonna put Milwaukee and Golden State against each other in the finals. So, all right, brother. Thanks.
All right, brother. Yep. What up?
Yo, what's up, OG? How's it going?
What up, brother?
Can you hear me well?
Yep.
Okay. So with KD going to the Suns, how do you feel about the KDs maybe matched up against the Warriors in the playoffs?
I don't mind it. I think that it's a good thing. I'm not sold on this Phoenix team. I need to see it more. The fact that they got rid of Mikal Bridges, they got rid of Cam Johnson, I think that that's a huge part of their core that now they don't have, that they tried to supplement with scoring. Now, scoring is going to work because KD's game travels. That's who KD is. No question about that. However, you still have to have dirty work guys. That's who Mikal Bridges is. That's who Cam Johnson is. And you don't have that. Like Torrey Craig is a dirty work guy, but he's not a dirty work guy like Mikal Bridges is. He's not a long ball shooter like Cam Thomas. I mean, like Cam Johnson. And getting KD doesn't supplement what those two guys, what you lost in those two guys. And those guys on the bench don't supplement that neither. Plus losing Jay Crowder, I think, is a big deal.
Yeah, he didn't even lace up with him.
So
Oh, go ahead.
So to answer your question, right? So to answer your question about KD possibly matching up against the Warriors, I mean, they may have more firepower offensively, but I still need to see it from them.
Yeah. Do you think it'll do anything for KD's legacy? Because when Curry went on to win that championship and KD failed on the Nets, it kind of propelled Curry all time ahead of KD. What do you think if they match up?
I never had KD ahead of Steph Curry. You needed me way more than I needed you. That's number one. Number two, for a guy in KD to have the stretch that he had in Brooklyn, this isn't 2011 LeBron. This isn't 2004 Kobe Bryant. This is a stretch of failures, and there is no player who has had a stretch like that we talk about in that fashion. So I'm having a difficult time. Even if he were to win the NBA championship with the Phoenix Suns, I don't think that this changes anything. I don't.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate it, OG.
All right, brother. Let me before I get to you, let me address something real quick. So I got this dude in my chat, Andrew. Andrew is a Boston Celtic fan, right? So by show of hands, everybody in this chat, how many of you would love to have a guy like Jayson Tatum on your team to build around your unit? To have a potential league MVP to build around your unit? How many, by show of hands, how many people would love to have that? Because when I listen to this guy, Andrew, all he does is talk about how bad he is, right? So to listen to him talk about Jayson Tatum, who is going to be an all-league defender this year, in addition to what he's doing, where he's going to be a first-team all-league performer. He's in the MVP conversation. He's had a stretch right now. He's had two of the last 3 games have been bad, even though he's averaging 31 and 9 over the last 10 games, right? He's averaging 31 and 9 over the last 10 games, with the exception of these last 2 games that he had. So with that being said, right? With that being said, you want this dude, all you do is talk about this dude like he ain't, for lack of a better term, he ain't shit. I would love to have a team where I had Jayson Tatum on my team. I would love to have that dude. You don't like him? I have no problem with that, my man. None whatsoever. But I will tell you this, you are going to eat your words. So there is nothing you can say to me. You can't give me any facts about Jayson Tatum. Okay, for example, Jayson Tatum's not going to be an all-league defender. Tell me why he's not going to be an all-league defender. I'll tell you why he's going to be, but tell me why he's not going to be. Bruh, since we're on this subject, bruh and Andrew, tell us in here why Jayson Tatum, tell me, not everybody else in here. I'm talking to you two dudes. Tell me why Jayson Tatum is not going to be an all-league defender. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening. Tatum not good in the clutch. That's interesting that he's not good in the clutch. What do you mean he's not good in the clutch? Do you think being good in the clutch is just scoring? Being a clutch player, there's so much more to being a clutch player than just scoring the basketball. See, that doesn't make sense to me. He chooses quarters. No, that doesn't work. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a fan. Talk basketball to me. He's not choosing when to play. That's not true. So I need, once again, answer the question. What about him? Why isn't he going to be an all-league defender? I'm listening. I'm going to get to you in a minute, Sport. I want to get to the bottom of this, because this dude comes into my comments all the time with the goofy logic when we got a potential top 5 player on his team, and he talks about him like, I believe he said Jayson Tatum is fringe top 10. Fringe. Can you believe that? Fringe. Dylan Brooks a better defender than Jayson Tatum. Just so you know, I just want to make sure that we clear. Jayson Tatum leads all small forwards in rebounds. Not only does he lead all small forwards in rebounds, he's in the top 5 in the league in steals, and he's tied for 7th in blocks with small forwards. So again, from the eye test, you're telling me Dylan Brooks, who also plays a guard, you're telling me Lou Dort, who also plays a guard, these guys are better than him. When Jayson Tatum cleans glass, Jayson Tatum is a much better on-ball defender than he's ever been. And the numbers prove it. The numbers actually prove it. So what? See, and bro, listen to what you just said. No, he isn't in the top 5 in steals. He's in the top 5 in small forwards, goofball. Go do your homework before you talk to me. And matter of fact, I'm done. I'm not going to yell because dudes like you don't know basketball. You don't. I'm straight. I won't waste my time with a goofball like you. I will not. What's up, brother?
What up, man? You seem like you mad as hell.
When I see great players, not only when I see great players developing and becoming what everybody thinks that they should be, and you got guys who don't watch them and don't pay attention to their maturation, and they want right now, that boils my blood. The same thing happened with James when he was becoming that guy. Same thing happened with Bryant when he was becoming that guy. Get him out of here. He doesn't know this. I'm straight, man. I'm good.
Bro, he's probably one of them dudes who's probably in the basement, don't know basketball or anything like that. He's probably some kid or teenager or whatever. Don't waste your time on that nonsense. All I'm going to say is Jayson Tatum is a damn good player. He's definitely arguably top 5, top 10 in my opinion. But I want to talk about that Super Bowl. Kansas City, listen, some people were mad about the James Bradbury call, but he admitted that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, I take nothing away from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes, does it sound blasphemous? But I think right now you can make a case he's a top 3 quarterback. Only Brady, Montana are better than him. I think he's better than Peyton. As much as I love Peyton, and I think Peyton is great in the regular season, but in the postseason, I cannot make that argument for Peyton. I think he's better than Aaron Rodgers. And you would know this for a fact because Aaron Rodgers is 0-4 against the 49ers. With Patrick Mahomes, I think he's top 3 of all time. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Big Red, Andy Reid, man, I'm happy for him. Great head coach. I think this could put him in the top 5 as far as head coaches of all time. Players coach, everyone loves him. Eric Bieniemy, I still don't know. We know why he ain't a head coach, but I hope he gets a head coaching job eventually. But what's your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Well, number one, I felt like defensively, I think Philadelphia, they lacked something. I mean, as good as Patrick Mahomes is, I've seen great defenses shut the door on all-time great quarterbacks. I've seen that. So if I got a quarterback, if I'm on the defense, I'm imagining Ray Lewis. I'm imagining as a quarterback telling Ray Lewis. I'm imagining telling Derek Brooks and Warren Sapp, yo, I'm going to give you 35 points. They're going to tell me as a quarterback, I'm going to make that stick. I am going to make 35 points stick. I'm not going to go to Derek Brooks. I'm not going to go to Ray Lewis, and they're going to tell me in the second half, that team scored every time that they had the ball. They're not going to allow that.
Right.
They're not. That's not going to happen. At some point, they are going to stop that other team. As good as Patrick Mahomes is, if your defense is what you say it is, this team, and don't get me wrong, I thought Andy Reid had a great game plan. But at some point, we have to stop these guys. We have to. There are things that we know are coming. It wasn't like Andy Reid pulled out a ridiculous playbook. I mean, that's not the screen pass, that dump off, that touchdown in the fourth quarter. They ran the same play, just on the other side of the field.
The one to Tony or the one to Skyler Moore?
The one to Tony. It was the exact same play. They just ran it on the other side of the field.
Right.
So you see those things coming. You see the formation. Not only do you see the formation, as a defense, at some point we got to slow these guys down. I watched the Legion of Boom. This is Peyton Manning, who threw 50 touchdowns. I watched the Legion of Boom shut the door on him and that high-powered Denver offense. So if you are that, right? If you are that, you have to show it. And I don't think that Philadelphia showed it yesterday, and it was obvious. That's why they lost.
And I think it validates what Brandon Ayuk was saying, because a lot of people thought that he was being salty, and I thought he was kind of at first, but after watching that game, he does make a valid point because the Eagles, and I had the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I just thought collectively they were the better team.
I did too.
But defensively, all you had to do just stop the run. In Kansas City, they ran the ball very effectively, 26 carries, 158 yards. If you can run the ball effectively, as well as Patrick Mahomes, more times than not, you're going to win. I think on the other side, Jalen Hurts, I thought he played well. He made one mistake. That was the fumble. But overall, I think he showed that he's more than a systems quarterback. Mm-hmm. If you're Philadelphia, I think you should pay him because he has those types of intangibles. Players love him. Coaches love him. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I also think that his improvement has shown. So he got better from last year. He got better from the beginning of this season till now. So the idea that you may have a question about your quarterback, it shouldn't be in Philadelphia. It should be 100%. We have our quarterback, and we're going to continue to build around him. Right? Not only are we going to continue to build around him, we're going to continue to build an offense to not just showcase him, but to make everybody else better. Because Devontae Smith needs to be more involved in the offense. I think I like what they did with AJ. That offense was humming yesterday. Not only was that offense humming, it looked like he knew exactly what he wanted to do. Jalen Hurts didn't look like a guy who was new. He looked like a 5, 6, 7 year pro. He didn't look like a guy who this is the first time he'd been in a Super Bowl and the lights were too bright for him. He didn't look like that at all. He looked like a guy who at the end of the day, this is where I need to be, and I know exactly what I'm doing. His ability to roll out, his ability to stand in the pocket and read the defense, right? His ability to improvise. He just looked like he knew what he was doing. And not only did he look like he knew what he was doing, it was effective. So I don't think that there's a question if you're Philadelphia whether or not you have your quarterback, because I think they do.
Yeah, I think so too. One last subject. I know we got to go basketball. I think the Lakers, as far as with the trades, they got better. I see them at best competing for the play-in. I don't see them going that far in the playoffs because I did not like the Thomas Bryant trade. I thought they should have kept him, but I guess the Lakers wanted to make the decision on their own. But what's it going to take in order for the Lakers to get back to the championship, in your opinion?
To be honest with you, the way that this team is presently constructed,
no, I don't see them competing for a championship. No,
not only do I not see them competing for a championship, I don't think that there's a quick fix, which means we got to start over. Because James, at your core, the days of James throwing a team on his back and taking them to the NBA Finals, we can't do that anymore. AD as good as he is. And not only as good as he is, as productive as he's been. I mean, I think AD is going to be an all-NBA performer before the season is over. And I think he's going to be an all-league defender. So with that being said, how inconsistent he can be and how unreliable sometimes he can be. I mean, I don't think that that's a recipe for building a championship team. Don't get me wrong. When this thing first started, the plan was for James to play off of Anthony Davis. And it worked. Only except AD broke down. Right. And because AD broke down, the plan got scrapped. So if you're talking about winning the NBA championship, there is no quick fix here. This thing has to be, and we got to start over.
Yeah, absolutely. Will do, man. Take it easy, man. Enjoy the rest of your day, bro.
My man, be easy. Yes, I do. Yes, sir, I do believe that. So, I was watching Spagnola's defensive game plan, and I'm thinking to myself, if you think that you're going to keep blitzing Jalen Hurts, that's not going to work. He had the same game plan defensively that he had against Tom Brady in 2007 when he was with the Giants. That was the game plan. We're going to stack the box. Not only are we going to stack the box, we're going to blitz this dude every other down. That's not going to work against a guy like Jalen Hurts. Who's that athletic? Who has that kind of pinpoint accuracy on the run? Who can improvise? That's not going to work against him. I understand that you're worried about him standing in the pocket and throwing all night. I get that, sure. No doubt about it, I get that. However, if you think that you're going to be able to blitz him all night, that's why you saw 35 points. You had the one mishap. right? You had the one mishap where he dropped the football and they ended up running it in for a touchdown. That was the only mistake of the night. And he made up for that just like that. Marched them down the field without any issues. Marched them right down the field. So I am 100% confident that Philadelphia has their quarterback moving forward. There's no swaying me on that. No doubt about it. So it's about that time for me. It was dope to see you guys tonight. You guys know where to find me at. I'm either here on Monday nights. I'm on a panel on Tuesday nights. I'm back here again on Wednesday nights at 5. Chill with Chill. And then I'm on with Haley and Tone on Thursday nights. Playmaker Haley and Tone. So I'm around, man. I'm not hard to find at all. So you guys know where to find me. And I will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light, but take it.